today's topic, what's love got to do with it? That should be a song. Sing it, Tina. Okay.
Got to do with it.
Ernest Holmes, in motion.
What's love got to do?
All right. Ernest Holmes writes, if we would look for a God of love, we must look long and deeply into each other. We must look away from the differences until we penetrate into the unity of the whole. Love alone reveals love. Hate hides the gleam. Our book of the month is a New York Times bestseller, All About Love by Bell Hooks. The first volume in the Love Song to the Nation trilogy. It reveals what causes a polarized society, how to heal the divisions, the truth about love, and how to instill caring, compassion, and strength in our world. Bell Hooks calls for a culture-wide commitment to a love ethic in this quote. A love ethic presupposes that everyone has the right to be free, to live fully and well, to bring a love ethic to every dimension of our lives. Our society would need to embrace change. We do this by choosing to work with individuals we admire and respect, by committing to give our all to our relationships, by embracing a global vision wherein we see our lives and our fate as intimately connected to those of everyone else on the planet. Affirm with me, love is the faces and the life around me. And it's now my honor to welcome Reverend Dr. Kathleen Johnson.
Thank you, Scott. There we go. So there was an Illinois man who was going on vacation down to Florida, and his wife was going to be joining him the next day. So he got down there and got settled, and he decided to send his wife a quick email. And so when he typed in her email address, he left out one of the letters. And it ended up going to the wife of a preacher who he had just passed the day before. And so when the preacher's wife opened the email, she let out a piercing scream. And this is what it said. Dearest sweetheart, I just got checked in. Everything is prepared for you to join me tomorrow. P.S. It sure is hot down here. Oh my gosh. So we have to, it says, I love you. So, love is in there. It has to do with our theme, higher, deeper love, right? In this case, deeper love. It's always good to have a little laugh. Yeah. So, what's love got to do with it? This song by Tina Turner expressing her disillusionment with love. What's love got to do with it? Just a secondhand emotion. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Disillusionment with love. Well, our entire topic today is around how to bring this quality of higher, deeper love to those moments of disillusionment. When we look around ourselves and what is going on? I thought this world was about God's love. And yet, we, as the ones who embody that love as a community, love is one of the community core values that was revealed when we got together last week. And this love that we're talking about is, yes, inclusive of the emotion of love, the feeling of love, but it's so much more. And we've been talking about this this month, that it is an action. It is a chosen action to do that which is uplifting, that which is good, that which is in alignment with who we are as the divine presence of love individualized. So today, I wanted to share a little bit more about Tina, because that song definitely was about her disillusionment. At the same time, I don't know how many of you know this, but she decided to practice Buddhism as a way to give herself some peace. She also practiced radical forgiveness. She did some deep inner work to forgive herself and to forgive Ike. So there was forgiveness, there was spiritual grounding in Buddhism, and then she also, the other thing she did was she decided to share her story, to take back her power. So again, love was the answer for the healing process for Tina. And love is not only the answer for all of that, it permeates all of the mystical teachings, all of the spiritual traditions at the very heart. Ernest Holmes encouraged us to experience this higher, deeper love by looking deeply into each other for the unity underlying all of life. It's a practice. That's an action that we consciously take, looking into each other's eyes as we did, and You Are the Face of God, and seeing that underlying unity, that presence of love that binds us all together. Bell Hooks, in her beautiful book, calls us to build a foundation, build on a foundation of a love ethic. I love that idea. A love ethic, so that love is the underlying foundational ethic of not only our relationships with each other, with our communities, but as a foundation for our entire culture. And she's not the only one calling for this. I mean, this is being called for all over. I happened to look at my bookshelf. You know how sometimes things like sort of pop off the shelf at you? This one popped off the shelf at me. This is one, you can see how I studied it. So you see all my little, back in 2018, it was new. And I know I did a series of talks on this some time ago. But it's called A New Republic of the Heart by Terry Patton. He's a kind of a follower of Ken Wilber, integral theory, which is a holistic theory of how we approach life, and it's thorough. I mean, I highly recommend it for those. In fact, in the back of it, it says, A New Republic of the Heart should be required reading for all humans over the age of 16. I mean, it's powerful, with recommendations from Jean Houston, from Ken Wilber, and other luminaries. Powerful book on how do we implement this in our society. And there's a whole thing on transcendence of partisan politics, how we truly need the Republican perspective and the Democratic perspective. We need kind of them to work together, because they each bring some good points to the table, and how to help those movements grow in wisdom, so that what's done is not a battle, but a working together, a collaborative sort of things. So it's bringing love to every aspect of society. Very powerful. I love how that just popped out at me. So I first want to talk about the healing gift of love. And so I'll begin by talking about the story of a woman. And there are many of these that are in Ernest Holmes' books, these stories of physical healings through the deep inner work that we do. So this woman suffered from severe, debilitating pain in both of her arms. And so she had gone to a series of doctors. Nothing was working. She finally found a physician who specialized in the mind-body connection. And so he led her through a a process using visualization to help her connect with her arms and to receive information, find out what were her arms communicating to her. And as soon as he said that, she immediately saw her arms held down by wrought iron, like clamped down in place. And then when he continued to ask her, well, what are these wrought irons? You know, what is it that your arms are trying to communicate to you? And so she had this flood of memories that came back to her. A year before, her grandfather had passed, and she was the sole caretaker of him for quite a long time. And she never felt loved by him. He was harsh. He was very difficult his whole life, but particularly when he was ill in those final years. She was his caretaker, and yet she never felt any gratitude from him whatsoever. And so when he passed, she decided that she just wasn't going to think about it anymore. It's like, it's way too painful, way too stressful. I'm not going to think about it anymore. So what happened? It got buried in her subconscious mind and came out as pain in her arms. Pain in her arms. So what the physician then helped her with was doing some deep inner radical forgiveness work, same thing that Tina Turner did, deep inner radical forgiveness work. And so over time, doing this deep inner work, forgiving herself, forgiving him, she was able to receive complete and total freedom from the pain. Gone. Pain gone. The power of love to heal deep emotional wounds that show up in our bodies. Powerful. When I started, as I was a new minister years ago, I started teaching a whole series of radical forgiveness classes. I think there were 7 of them before I even started the first center. And I still am in awe of the amazing healings and demonstrations that took place for the people who took those classes. But not only that, the people who take our regular classes here. The changes in people's lives, a greater alignment with who they are in truth, a greater embrace of who I'll say we are in truth, the impact it's been on my life. This deep inner work, we are always saying, go within if you want things to change in your life. Change your thinking, change your life. So there's a built-in resilience that we have, and that's because the presence of love lives within us, even when it might be clouded at times. So this healing gift of love is here for us at any point in time. It's within us, and we can facilitate that with each other, just as the doctor did with this woman. That resilience allows us to access it, to heal, to adapt, and then to keep moving forward. Loving our inner landscape, so important. As we turn within to our inner world, and we come into contact with not only pain, but biases and shadows of ourselves. This is one of the bravest acts of love that we can do, because when we transform all of this, we not only help ourselves, we help everyone else around us. We're all interconnected. Even if we don't encounter a particular person, we're uplifting the whole entire planet. So this means to acknowledge historical and current injustices in our society, and to choose to transform hidden beliefs that perpetuate these injustices, to free us and to free our families, our communities, and our world. So several years ago, Centers for Spiritual Living was very active in these were monthly meetings in building a culture of diversity inclusion. And so I attended those regularly, and one of the things that we ended up doing is a group of us got together regularly and studied white supremacy, the book called White Supremacy. And what was uncovered were things unconsciously that a lot of us didn't even realize that we were holding. And that's the way unconscious bias is. We often don't even realize that it's there. And so there were great revelations, and then deep inner work that followed to transform that, and then bring actions back into our community that allows our communities to be more inclusive and all-embracing. And that's one of the things that I love about our community is I see us as very inclusive, as embracing diversity, and to me that's very, very precious. It's very precious. Okay, so that's loving our inner landscape. Then love the web that connects us. When this thing about love is love tends to light up this matrix that connects all of us. It's like a light. It's like a web, a spider's web. When one part of it gets moved, the whole entire thing moves. And that's what it is with love. As we light our hearts up with love, we are lighting up the whole entire matrix that connects all of us together. So this higher, deeper love then that we're talking about, this love that comes from not only a feeling state, but a choice to be active in love in action, let's put it that way, it comes from an awareness of the interconnection and the interdependence of all life, and understanding that our health depends on the health of others, the health of our entire planet. And so there is a deep desire that is birthed within us, and I know many of you know what I'm talking about, of wanting to take care of our planet, to take care of each other. This idea of the web of life and carrying that with us in our minds, so powerful, and keeping us aligned and moving forward with our vision. It's a radical shift of perception from othering to recognizing the divine spark in every single being. Calls us into compassionate action, caring for one another, and taking the time to listen to one another with understanding. So I'd like you to anchor this. Let's anchor what we're talking about by finding one or two other people in the room to share how has love healed you, guided you to heal a relationship. How has love guided you to heal a relationship? Yeah, Dan actually put the question up there. So find at least one other person, not too many people, not 4, we don't have the time for that, but hopefully one other person to share with. May I make a suggestion, Lindsay, that you team up with one of these folks here? I know, but I mean, because then there'll be 2 and 2 instead of 3 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Just find, maybe work with Michael. There you go. Michael, you want to just sit here?
So I just got his job.
Turn around this way. There we go.
You know what? I'm not going to go into details, but during my childhood, I was abused.
So higher, deeper love. It's very encompassing. It's all encompassing. It acknowledges the love that's within us, that's available for self-healing, but it also acknowledges that our collective traumas, pains, unconscious biases, and all of those things, so that we can work together to heal all of that and truly live from a love ethic. I love that word, a love ethic. That's going to be one of my new things. And so when we embody this whole large awareness of love's power to heal, all things are possible. You know, we can get off of the idea of oh, little old me, what can I do, to grand me, divine, magnificent me, the divine I am. I can do amazing things. And so it is. Thank you, my friends.